Hey guys, it's Kathy and I'm not muted. So this one's starting off much better than the last couple. Okay, as I promised, we're going to go back to Reno today. I got a little compilation that I had to keep cutting and cutting and cutting because there was just so much. Um, so yeah, this is the end results of, I feel like bangs. I feel like I just ruined my hair because I just cut it, cut it, cut it, cut it, cut it. And now I have these tiny little bangs left for you guys to watch, but it's fine. It's still plenty of content, plenty. But first let's go to Washington. Let's go to Washington and get threatened by a judge, and then we can go other places. Here we go.
On Ashley Anderson. If Miss Anderson will come up, please.
Good morning.
Hello. So sit tight for a minute. Your lawyer's going to talk to me about this case, okay?
Thank you, Judge. Miss Anderson has been in custody for 6 days at this point with a $100 cash bond that she has not been able to make. In speaking to Miss Anderson, she has lived in Georgia her whole life, born and raised here. So there's no indication that she's a flight risk or that she would go anywhere else. She has 5 children here. Her mother is here. Her grandmother is here. So all of her family is here. There's no indication that she wouldn't come back to court. In speaking to Miss Anderson, she also indicated that if she is the full-time caretaker for her grandmother. She wanted it to be very clear to the court that she would never intentionally hurt her grandmother or do anything to her grandmother. The allegation in this is a scratch on, I think, a thumb. But she wanted to make it very clear that she has no intentions of hurting her grandmother and never would. She's very close with her grandmother and has been her caretaker for about 3 years now. But she understands if the court orders that she can't go back, she does have other places to go. She could stay with her mother or other family members. She would just need a one-time escort. I do have a good phone number for Miss Anderson. I have a good mailing address for her, so contact would not be an issue either. So at this point, Judge, we are asking for a signature bond for Miss Anderson, given the fact that she has not been able to make that $100.
Mr. Kopinski, do you disagree with signature bond?
I do, Your Honor.
All right, give me the reasons.
Sure, Your Honor. I'll begin with the defendant's criminal history. She has 2 convictions for marijuana possession, a shoplifting, and a DUI. She's been on probation before, and she has a failure to appear from 2021 that arose out of a probation violation. And so, Your Honor, given this failure to appear, the state has doubts as to whether she would make it to her next court appearance. Additionally, Your Honor, the victim in this case is 80 years old, and while a scratch might not look particularly significant in a different case, an 80-year-old woman would be particularly susceptible to any injury. And it seems like this was a dispute that arose out of something pretty trivial. They were fighting over a cell phone. And so, Your Honor, our office has not been able to make contact with Ms. Wanda Anderson, the victim. And without having that contact, the state would oppose contact if the court is inclined.
How long has she been in jail?
6 days.
And is Wanda Anderson her mother, grandmother?
Wanda is her grandmother.
Grandmother. Does Ashley Anderson live with her grandmother?
She does.
Where would she go if I let her out?
Judge, she indicated she could stay with her mother. I do have her mother's name and number that I could verify an address. I don't have that yet. I haven't been able to reach her. But she did indicate she could either stay with her mother or she does have other family members as well. She isn't concerned about staying somewhere else.
Does she have any personal belongings at the grandmother's house?
She does, Judge. So she would need an escort at least once.
Miss Mitchell, this case isn't accused as far as I can tell. So when are we bringing her in for arraignment?
January the 9th.
Ashley Anderson.
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm going to let you out on your signature, but you're going to have to come to my court on January 9th at 9 o'clock. You know where the DeKalb County Courthouse is, the main one in downtown Decatur?
Yes, sir.
I'm on the 2nd floor. Now, 2 things. If you do them, will get you back in jail, and you will not have a bond, and you will stay in there until such time as I'm ready to try your case. And right now we're looking at 6 to 8 months on a good day. Number one, you will have no contact with your grandmother other than to have a police escort to the house to get your personal effects. And the way you'll do it is when you are ready, you will call or you will go to the police department and ask them when it's convenient for them, not for you, but for them to escort you to your grandmother's house so you can get your personal effects. And when you get there, you will have no communication with your grandmother other than to say good morning or good evening or whatever the time of day it is. And that's it. And then you get your stuff and get the heck out and do not go back until this case is over. Number two, if you fail to appear to court January 9th, we will find you. Make no mistake. We will hunt you down, capture you, and put you back in jail. So don't even think about skipping out, because you know what? You may have a little bit of freedom, but it's going to be short-lived. And the time that you're going to spend in jail is going to make up for it. 5 times. Easy. Now, if you can't live with these conditions, you need to let me know now so I'm not wasting my time or the police time or the deputy's time. We'll just leave you in jail and bring you to court in January and handle your case.
I accept your condition.
Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
I'll ask you for the 3rd time. Are you positive?
100%, yes, sir.
Because each time you told me yes, it has been recorded by video and by a court reporter. There is no turning back. There is no lies. Oh, I didn't agree to that, or I didn't know, or blah, 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 blah. I have it on tape. So don't even come back asking for a bond if you violate those conditions. Because I will tell you in 1 second, no. Any questions?
No, sir.
Any misunderstanding or confusion on your part about what I have told you and what you have to do?
No, sir. I understand.
Deputy, we're done with Miss Anderson.
Thank you. Thank you.
What was the amount, Judge?
$1,000 signature.
Okay. First off, I do know the difference between Washington and Georgia. I do. I'm either a habitual liar or I got my content mixed up. Well, actually, or it's Friday night, so I really could be drunk. Or it's all 3 of them. Who knows? You're an adult. You make the decision. Okay. So we were in Georgia, not Washington. And what in the world did we just witness? Every day I see cases where domestic violence is extreme domestic violence. And they never get spoken to ever like that. The grandmother had a scratch on her thumb, and this judge just choke slammed this lady. And I mean, it was domestic violence. They should be like that. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm not saying he did anything right or wrong. I'm just shocked that what I just saw. I'm just shocked about the whole thing. I mean, I'm glad she's not sitting in jail for 6 months. I am. Hopefully, I mean, I don't think she's going to be a problem. Nothing about her makes me think she's going to be a problem, especially after that. If some judge said that to me, my Lord. Okay. So I like that judge. I don't know I see him very often. I'm going to try to find more from him. Don't worry. But now we're going to go to the other end of the spectrum. And we're going to go to Reno real quick. And this time it's the judge that gets yelled at. The regal judge.
My Honor,
Good morning.
Your Honor, Mr. Ayers has had a couple of competency evaluations. One out of Reno Justice Court found him not competent to proceed. A recent one prepared for this matter found him competent to proceed. We didn't have a super productive conversation this morning, but what I was able to discern, he wants to enter a not guilty plea and set this for trial.
Okay, sir, how do you plead to the charge?
Not guilty.
All right, we'll accept your not guilty plea. I will appoint a legal defender. We'll set this for trial.
Well, you guys enjoy your sample. I know why I'm in here. Either it's property or powder, and you guys aren't slick when you come at me because I know what you're coming with. Not very much.
Sir, sit down.
No, I work for them.
Judge, I have November 6th at 1 p.m. with Mr. Edgerton.
Okay. Kevin Hall.
That was it. She was done with him. Sir, sit down. They muted him. He was done. I love that judge. Oh, let's skip the Reno for the end. And let's go to this DJ. Okay. This DJ breaks my heart. Just breaks my heart. You'll see. Here we go.
Eddie Bateman, V122-91023. Eddie James Bateman. The charge is dancing without a cabaret license. Is that right, Miss?
He was DJing, Your Honor.
Oh, DJ without a cabaret license.
Attorney Luke Ganger, PA 5677, appearing on behalf of the City of Detroit. That's correct, Judge. The charges, believe it's the establishment failed to have a cabaret or dance license.
Okay, so he was a DJ, not a dancer.
Yeah.
Those are two different skill sets, aren't they, Mr. Payton? Okay. Court is also calling Mr. Robert Brown, SP 145-90111. Robert William Brown, no open alcohol in a motor vehicle, passenger. Mr. Robert Brown, if you're in the virtual courtroom, please say your name for the record. Unmute yourself, please, and say your name for the record.
Robert Brown.
Thank you. And Mr. Bateman, I forgot to say your name.
Eddie Bateman.
Thank you. And the court is also calling Dillette Beard. Dillette Beard, that case number is SP 149-34132. Dillette Star Beard, the charge is driver's license suspended. Count 3 of that same ticket is no insurance, and count 1 of the same ticket is an accident case. And the reference is 390. Ms. Dillette Brown, if you're in the virtual courtroom, please say your name for the record.
Dillette Beard.
Oh, Dillette Beard. I'm sorry, Miss Beard. Please forgive me, Dillette Beard. Thank you. All right. Now, who is representing Miss Beard, Mr. Brown, and Mr. Bateman?
I am, Your Honor, Jane Carver on behalf of all 3 defendants. Everyone would like to request a bench trial date, Your Honor. But Mr. Bateman had some property that was taken. And so we request an earlier date than the November 29th for Mr. Bateman, please.
Okay. Mr. Bateman, what was taken, sir? Your equipment?
Yes, my laptop, lights, table, board, all my speakers, cords, bag, pretty much everything. And I've been without it for almost 3 months now. And it's been like a struggle because that's like my main thing. I'm a music producer and a DJ, so it's kind of been hard to like pay my rent and everything because that's what I use to pay my rent, basically.
Okay. So this is echoing. I thought okay.
I'm not sure why it does that. I think it's sometimes right when you start talking and then it fades out. It does it to me sometimes too.
Okay, Mr. Bateman. Mr. Geringer, What's the earliest date we can give Mr. Bateman? Because this is how he makes his living. And was Mr. Bateman given an offer?
Well, Judge, the people could place an offer on the record. It's my understanding that, defendant is seeking return of his property, which my understanding is he was hoping for a trial to prove his innocence or seeking dismissal.
But does he have a license? I don't want you to answer, but if he has a license, I mean, that's,
Well, he's
Judge,
in the process of getting his.
Judge, I think the best course of action is to set this for trial in a sooner time frame as we suggested.
The venue where he was appears to be open and licensed now. So the officer could probably verify that at a trial date. And Mr. Bateman's also going to get his DJ license within the next 10 days.
Okay. So, Mr. Geringer, just so Mr. Bateman is clear on what the requirement is for someone in his profession, he must have a license himself. Is that right?
Well, Judge,
and the venue must have a license. Is that right?
To my knowledge, I'm not aware of any license for vendor or for a DJ license. I'm not familiar with that. All I'm familiar with in what the DPD enforces is the establishment licenses. So
it wasn't that he wasn't.
If a defendant is, if someone is operating out of an establishment, that's operating some sort of illegal activity there, legal liquor sales or whatever, it has to be licensed, and anyone subject to that, and any patrons or anybody in that facility could be implicated, could be charged.
So he's got to make sure the establishment is licensed.
That's correct.
So I guess the law is that the bar had to have a license. And because the bar didn't have a license, this little kid, and I say he's a little kid, because he's not even old enough to drink alcohol yet in my state. I don't know about Michigan. Anyway, he's not even 21 or close to it. He got nailed for this. And then the establishment did go, in fact, get a license. But this kid still has to pick up the pieces of this stupid, crazy, dumb charge, I think. And that's just my opinion.
Okay. So, I don't know. If you're asking for a trial date and Ms. Carver, that's what you're asking for. I'm just trying to be clear so we know what the issue is. The establishment must have the license. So you have to know where you are, Mr. Bateman. Madam Clerk, what's the earliest bench trial date for Mr. Bateman?
I can give him November 14th.
November 14th. Because is that going to be enough?
Is that enough time to get your DJ license and to get the cop subpoenaed?
The DJ license will be confirmed by next Monday. It's already set everything up. I just have to wait for the letter to come in the mail, and it's gonna confirm that I'm a business owner of my actual DJ business. And also the building, they're back up and running, and because I know the owner personally, he went and showed his paperwork and got their business legit again, and they're back up and running every weekend again now, so they're legit now.
An Attorney Geringer attempted to reach out to the officer, but there was no.
That's essentially, I know we're kind of discussing the facts of the case here on the record, but essentially the people are just requesting this be set for trial, so some of this information can be verified.
We're just trying to help Mr. Bateman. He seems to be a young entrepreneur.
Tell him.
I like
Get
that.
him. Get him.
He's trying to do the right thing, so to speak. And sometimes when you're young, you have to know what you need to know so that you don't get in trouble. And what he needs to know is that the establishment where he's playing has to be licensed as well. So I don't want him to think that just because he has his certificate, that will be all that's required. The establishment has to be licensed as well. If you play at the same place all the time, is that what you do? Do you play at the same place all the time, Mr. Bateman?
No, I'm really a call for hire. Like the promoter of that one is one of my closest childhood friends, and he know the owner, so he was like, they need a new DJ. So I just started doing that. Like I do anybody's party if you just call, and I have a set price and everything.
Okay. How old are you, Mr. Bateman?
19.
Okay. Okay. So November 14, 8:30 in the morning is the earliest, I guess. Mr. Prosecutor, if that's what you, and we'll see if the officers aren't here, then we'll proceed on that day accordingly.
That's right. Dismiss.
Madam Clerk, that's all. That's enough time to notify them, right?
Yes, I have to, yeah.
Okay, so November 14th. So we get you ready for the holidays so you can be working over the holiday.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Garringer.
Yes, very good, Judge.
All right, certain. We're going to give you a personal bond, and November 14. It will be a Zoom connection, so the same way you connected today, you'll connect on November 14. All right, and for Mr. Brown, Mr. Bateman, if you.
It's hard starting a business. It's hard. All the permits and procedures and everything that you have to follow, and I do understand why they're there. I do understand we need them. I do, but it's so hard. Nobody can just understand them. You gotta go and find qualified help to make sure that you are licensed for anything that you do. And that little 19-year-old, look how cute he is. He had no chance of knowing that him playing a record was going to land him in this much trouble. I mean, it's just crazy. I just think it's crazy and stupid and frustrating, because he's just trying to make some money, and he's not doing anything wrong. He's just DJing. We need DJs. They make us happy. Okay, now we're going to go to Reno, and a compilation of a bunch of different things that happened the other day that I cut and pasted together like Frankenstein. So let's see how it goes.
So I deal with that first, and then I'll move on to the general population. The first person on the special attention list is Derek Lang. Good morning, Mr. Lang.
Morning, Judge O'Neill. How are you doing this morning?
Good for Monday. How about you?
Not bad. Just another day.
All right. So, Derek, your case number is 23 CR 12939. And, sir, as soon as my computer opens, there we go. You, sir, were charged in a criminal complaint filed on October the 15th, 2023, with the charge of trespassing. And that charge is that you willfully and lawfully returned to the property of Rayleigh's on South McCarran after being trespassed on October the 13th. Did you understand that charge, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
And how do you wish to plead to the charge?
No contest, please.
All right, sir. Do you understand by entering a plea of no contest that the court will find you guilty of the trespassing?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand your constitutional rights? You've been through this before, Mr. Lang, so I would assume you heard your constitutional rights a few times.
Yeah, I've heard it. I didn't get the video this morning, but I already know. I understand.
Do you have any question about those rights?
No, I do not.
All right, sir. You understand that the maximum penalty for any misdemeanor could be up to 6 months in jail and or a $1,000 fine?
Yeah, I do understand.
And, sir, have you served in the United States military?
No, I could have. I had a 95 percentile on the ASVAB score, but I was a psych patient, so I could not.
I'm sorry to hear that, but thank you for your answers. I'll accept your plea of no contest as freely, voluntarily, and knowingly entered. City's recommendation is to sentencing for Mr. Lang.
Thank you, Your Honor. This is a trespass at the Rayleigh's on South McCarran. It looks like Mr. Lang was trespassed earlier in the day and came back about 4 hours later. He has a lengthy history with our court. I'm looking at his last sentence. We know dozens and dozens of cases. He was last seen on September 13th, and he was given 20 days in custody for a trespassing. So I'm going to request that Your Honor give him 30 days on this one. We've tried to help him. He continues to reoffend, doing the same type of offenses and being a nuisance to our business community. Thank you.
And Ms. Burning, on behalf of Mr. Lang.
Your Honor, I would be asking for credit for time served. What happened with Derek is that he went into the Rayleigh's, he was trespassed, but he didn't have his wallet. He left his wallet in Rayleigh's, so he left. He went over, I think to Dottie's, I'm not sure exactly where, and then he went back 4 hours later when he couldn't find his wallet, and he wasn't aware that going back to get your wallet would be enough to have him trespassed. And so
Okay,
for
sure.
that reason, I would be asking for credit for time served for Mr. Lang.
Thank you, Ms. Burning. Mr. Lang, I'd like to hear from you, sir.
That story is completely accurate. I went in there because I forgot I was trespassed back in October. So I went in there trying to buy oysters and crab. They told me they refused to try to serve me, so I left. I did not make a scene or make any threats or any problems. I forgot where my wallet was. I realized 2 hours later it was at the Rayleigh. So I went back to get my wallet, and then I did leave. And I don't know why they called it cost me. That the whole story that Catherine told you is completely true. And I didn't make any scene, so I don't know why they called it cost me. And the whole problem is I'm not gonna go back there if I get released. And if you want to give me a suspended sentence, that's fine. Just have something over my head. I'm fine with that. I don't want this to be a big problem because I don't know where the problem came from.
All right, Derek, I will, I understand the situation. I'm reviewing the facts of the case. I think alcohol may have had an impact here.
No, I only had one beer all day. I swear to God.
Well, it says that you were playing, that you stated you'd been playing the slot machines and drinking tequila.
No, because the tequila was given to me after I left.
Okay. All right, so alcohol was involved then, right?
Yeah, tequila and one beer. I had 2 shots of tequila and 1 beer.
Okay. Well, that sometimes affects your judgment.
Yes, ma'am.
What I'm going to do, Derek, is this. I'm going to sentence you to 30 days in the Washoe County Jail. I'm going to suspend that sentence for a period of a year on the condition that you stay away from that Rayleigh's, okay?
Yes, ma'am, I will. But okay, in future reference, if I get trespassed from somewhere and I leave my wallet, how do I handle that? Do I have to call the police and get them to courtesy help me?
Yes.
All right, that's fine. So I get a suspended sentence. I'm getting released today.
Yes, you are.
Right, cool. Okay, thank you, Judge. You have a good day.
You too. Good morning, sir. How do you pronounce your last name?
That's fine.
Nadict?
Sir, turn around, face forward.
And you need to stand a little closer to the table, sir, then I can hear you in that microphone. Good morning, sir. The first matter I have is 22 CR 06408. And that is a case summary of a citation from May the 9th, 2022 for trespassing, obstructing, and resisting.
Just before we get to him, I don't think that he's mentally challenged in the slightest, and you'll see why. I didn't record this because he's mentally challenged. I don't think he is.
An officer by misidentifying yourself.
Your Honor, if I may, when I talked to Robert, he was uncertain as to how he wanted to plead. He seemed a little bit confused to me. I don't know whether or not he's had an evaluation as to his.
Okay, I know everybody's going to yell that I keep pausing, but can you imagine how that conversation went? She can't talk, and he doesn't want to talk, and they had a conversation about what they were going to do together.
Competency in the past, but it was very difficult for him to understand and very difficult for him to make a decision as to what he wanted to do. And how we left it was that he was going to try to decide when speaking with you now.
All right, so let me ask a few questions of you then, Robert. Do you understand what's happening here today?
I believe so.
I'm sorry, I have to be able to hear you.
I believe so.
I can't hear you, sir.
Yes, I believe so.
All right, you say yes? Do you understand you have a series of charges here today?
I'm not sure.
All right, what I'm gonna do at this juncture is order a competency evaluation for you, Mr. Nevick.
You asked me if I'm aware if I have a series of charges. I'm not sure of all the charges. I'm aware of the fact that I have a series of charges, yes.
All right, well then let me go through those and see if you understand those, all right? The first one, as I indicated, was a case summary of, sorry, let me readdress those. Just give me a moment. My computer is fighting the moment. You entered a plea of no contest to trespassing. The obstructing and resisting was dismissed. That was in May of 2022. You have a 60-day sentence that was suspended from for 2 years from Judge Draculich. You were to obey all laws and have no alcohol or drugs without and there was a no contact order. Did you understand you have a suspended sentence, sir?
I wasn't aware.
All right, well, now you are. And I'll go with the next charge, and that's 22 CR 10572. That's another case status summary. And it indicates that you entered a plea of no contest to a petty larceny on August 9th, 2022. You also admitted to a failure to appear. You've been found guilty on a couple of failures to appear, it appears, and you were sentenced to time served. It looks like you have a suspended sentence. I'm looking to see. Looks like you may have been transferred to the, to the Reno Municipal Court's Community Court. Are you working with Community Court?
Yeah.
And when was the last time you were there, sir?
Recently.
Okay. The next matter I have for you is a new case from 23. It's 23 CR 10383. And it looks like, Robert, you were charged with trespassing, returning to the Peppermill after having been trespassed. And that date was August 24th, 2023. Let me see if there's any kind of a disposition relative to that. I don't see anything. You know that you were trespassed from the Peppermill and they asked you not to return?
Okay.
All right, and then I have one more matter, and that's a criminal complaint that was filed on October the 12th. Charging you with trespassing, that you went on the property of another and willfully and unlawfully remained on the property after being told not to trespass. There's also a charge of resisting a public officer, and that's because you looks like you pulled away from the officer. There's also a pedestrian under the influence of narcotics on a roadway charge. So you have those 3 charges. Have there been some negotiations relative to Mr. Nevick, Ms. Burning or Ms. Avoidus-Tanner?
Your Honor, because my client was uncertain of what he wanted to do, no, there haven't been at this time.
And is there an offer to be tendered, Ms. Avoidus-Tanner?
Yes, Your Honor. If he pleads to the obstructing and resisting in 23 CR 12858, I would dismiss the trespassing and the intoxicated pedestrian charges in that case. And I would ask for a plea on 23 CR 10383. And Your Honor, what I'm looking at is that community court has attempted to work with Mr. Nevick, and it appears that they're still willing to work with them. So I reviewed his case where he has a suspended sentence out of community court, and it looks like his last appearance was September 20th. And they issued a warrant. They have a note in the file indicating that they didn't want a warrant issued for FTA until October 25th. So I'm guessing that they're still willing to work with them, and I would be in support of that ultimately. Thank you.
Your Honor, I can speak to that. We would have Robert come back to community court if he wanted to. And I was not able to speak with him because he was just not sure what he wanted to do or understanding the charges when we were speaking.
All right, thank you, Ms. Brenning, Ms. Aboitis Tanner. Robert, the city attorney has offered you a plea negotiation wherein if you want to plead to the obstructing and resisting a police officer in 23 CR 12858, she'll dismiss trespassing and intoxicated pedestrian. And there also is also the charge of, I forgot which one that is. The 10383 charge was, I believe, another trespassing at the pepper mill. And you're seeking a plea on that charge as well, Ms. Aboitis Tanner?
Yes, Ron.
So, Mr. Navik, are you interested in accepting the negotiation? I'm considering referring you back to community court, yeah, if you do.
I think so.
We have to be sure because these are criminal charges that will go on your criminal history.
To work with community court?
Yes.
Okay, when would I do that?
You would be held in custody until Wednesday to be transported back to community court for services there.
Okay.
Is that what you want to do?
I believe so. Yes.
Okay. So what is your plea to the charge of obstructing and resisting a police officer in case 12858?
No contest.
All right. And what is your plea to trespassing at the pepper mill in case 10383?
No contest.
And Mr. Nabik, do you understand that by entering pleas of no contest to these two charges, that the court will find you guilty of those two charges?
Is that what I should be aware of?
Yes.
Okay.
And do you understand that?
Yeah.
All right. You understand your constitutional rights. You could plead not guilty and take these matters to trial. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
All right. And you understand by entering a plea of no contest, you're going to give up your right to have a trial in this matter?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that a yes?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Did you understand that the maximum possible penalty for these offenses, the trespassing and the obstructing and resisting an officer, could be up to 6 months in jail and or a $1,000 fine each?
All right.
Okay. And have you served in the military, Mr. Nabik?
No. No.
I'm sorry, I can't hear your answer.
No.
All right, that's a no. I'll accept your plea of no contest as freely, voluntarily, and knowingly entered. Excuse me. All right, and what I intend to do then is pursuant to everyone's comments about the fact that you seem to be amenable to treatment with the community court, I'm going to hold you for transport. Unless you have another recommendation, Ms. Aboitis Tanner, did you want to have him sentenced on one or have the entire matter be transferred to community court?
Your Honor, I would request that the entire matter be transferred to community court so that way they have more to work with. And I would also, of course, request that he be in custody to be transported. Thank you.
Thank you. And Ms. Burning, do you have anything you'd like to add?
No, I think it's a very good choice for Rob to come back.
Okay. All right. Mr. Nabik, do you have anything you'd like to tell me before I'm going to basically hold you until Wednesday morning where you'll be transported to community court for sentencing there, okay?
Okay.
All right. Good luck. Do you live in the state of Nevada?
Yes, ma'am.
And where do you live? What city?
Reno.
Okay. And what's the status of this warrant out of Kansas?
I'm not really sure what you're asking.
Okay, do you know, it's a felony. What kind of a felony is it?
It looks like it's for a parole violation.
Okay, that tells me a lot. I'm gonna go ahead and set bail at $500 bondable on the 2 misdemeanors, $250 each. And if you're able to make bail and the hold is dropped from Kansas, then I'm gonna order that you make contact with your legal defender and be present for your trial on November the 16th, okay?
Okay, did you say the one in Kansas is dropped?
No, I can't do that. That's not my jurisdiction. I said if it is dropped, then you'll have to post bail of either a percentage of the bail or the entire cash bail of $500, okay?
Okay, so am I gonna sit in this county jail?
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
you're welcome.
I did not.
So are you admitting that you failed to appear?
Yes.
And do you understand that failing to appear is contempt of court for which you could receive a possible maximum sentence of up to 25 days in jail and a fine up to $500?
Yes.
And did you understand the Constitution?
I think serious withdrawal is going on right now. She's just trying to fight through this court so she could get out.
Constitutional rights that were explained previously to you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Do you have any question about your constitutional rights?
No.
And have you served in the United States military?
No.
The court will accept your admission to the failing to appear as freely, voluntarily, and knowingly entered. Now I'm looking at the disturbing the peace charge. The allegation there is that you willfully and unreasonably subjected a neighbor to noise which disturbs the peace, which consisted of screaming, banging, and smashing objects. Did you understand that? And that was on November the 18th, 2022.
Yes,
Did you understand the charge?
Yes, ma'am.
And how do you wish to plead on that charge?
Guilty.
And the same questions about your constitutional rights apply. Would your answers be different?
Oh.
Did you understand your constitutional rights?
Yes, ma'am. I understand.
And for the possible penalty for this misdemeanor could be up to 6 months in jail and or a $1,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yeah.
And have you served in the United States military?
No, I have not.
The court will accept your plea as freely, voluntarily, and knowingly entered. Does the city want to set this over for a victim statement, counsel?
Yes, Your Honor, that would be my request. I have a victim here who was subjected to noise for about 5 hours in the middle of the night. I think she should have an opportunity to come forward if she wants to. Now, moving forward, and maybe to save some time, I'm reviewing Ms. Connor's case. It appears that the reason why law enforcement had contact with her a few days ago is because she was walking in the middle of the street into traffic. And it appears that she also indicated she's interested in substance abuse treatment. So maybe if Your Honor's inclined, setting her for a substance abuse evaluation while she's in jail.
Thank you, Your Honor, if I may.
Yes, of course.
Excuse me. Ms. Connor let me know that she is already set for rehab at St. Mary's. Apparently she already had a bed is what she's telling me. And it looks like it's going to be a 6-month program for her. So that's what her intent is to do to release, at release. So I would let the court know as the court is considering our resources with what to do with Ms. Connor.
Thank you very much, Ms. Brennan. Is that a correct statement, Ms. Connor?
Yes.
That you're scheduled for a rehab bed?
Yeah. I was going to go there the day I got arrested. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So what I'm going to do, whenever the prosecutor requests of me to continue the matter so she can contact the victim, I'm required by law to allow that. So I'm going to set this over to Wednesday morning. I'll be the judge again on Wednesday morning, and we'll set this over for your sentencing on that date. That gives the city attorney the opportunity to contact the victim in this matter and have them present if they wish, okay? In the meantime, there'll be a no bail hold on you until Wednesday morning.
Okay. Am I going to be able to go to rehab?
Yes, you're going to probably be able to go to rehab.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. We'll see you Wednesday morning. No bail hold on Ms. Connor until Wednesday. And another failure to appear for court, sir, on May 31st, 2023.
I can't remember.
Did you appear for court on September the 11th?
Ma'am, I got so much stuff going on between you guys and Sacramento. I don't know. I was recently put on house arrest from Sacramento. I got court this week with them. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of like wondering if like we could like, you know, because I'm on a house arrest now, I'm kind of like forced to go to court now. If we could like, you know, resolve all this to the, you know, I don't
So
know.
let's start. Stacy Doson.
This one annoys the judge.
Good morning, Ms. Dobson.
Good morning.
Your case number is 21 TR 02554. Your charges are, it looks like you were arrested on a warrant signed by me on April the 11th, 2022 for contempt of court failure to comply. The warrant reads as follows, Ms. Dobson. On December the 1st, 2021, I ordered you to complete the victim impact panel, which was due by March the 1st, 2022. As of the date that I signed your arrest warrant, you had not provided proof that you had done the victim impact panel. This was on a charge of basic speed 21 miles an hour over the posted limit, driving without a valid driver's license, and a failure to appear. Did you ever get the victim impact panel done?
I did not.
And why not?
I just had a lot of stuff going on. If I could have
So
another.
how does sitting in jail help all of that?
I don't know.
Probably not much, right?
Mm.
How long, so do you admit that you failed to comply with the court's order by not doing the victim impact panel?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and do you understand that that is contempt of court?
Yes, ma'am.
And that I could sentence you up to 25 days in jail and fine you up to $500?
Yes.
And you understood your constitutional rights, correct?
Yes.
Did you have any question about those rights?
No.
And have you served in the military?
No, ma'am.
The court will accept your admission as freely, voluntarily, and knowingly entered. Are you working?
Yes.
What do you do for a living?
I babysit for care.com.
Okay. And are you currently employed?
Yes.
Do you have a residence?
Yes.
And when were you arrested on this outstanding warrant?
On Friday. So 4 days. Yeah.
And is that enough time to remind you that when a court orders you to do something that you need to do it?
Yes, Your Honor.
The other thing I want to tell you, Ms. Dobson, is this, that irritates the heck out of me, that you're sitting in jail instead of taking care of someone's children because you were so casual about this. If you had had any good excuse whatsoever, every one of the judges at the Reno Municipal Court grants continue.
Now, what do you think is more annoying to the judge? That this girl just didn't care, or that her internet just crashed?
Thank you, everyone, for your patience. Thank you, Ms. Dobson, for your patience. What I was telling you when I was so rudely interrupted by technical malfunctions is this. You could have, at any time, asked me for additional time.
I understand that now, Your Honor.
If you're court ordered to do something, you can't get it done in the time. We all live in the real world. We all have tragedies. We all have job obligations, kids, work, jobs, all that kind of stuff. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to give you 30 days to complete this. I'm not going to sentence you here today. I will consider sentencing you to 25 days in jail if you can't get that victim impact panel done in the next 30 days. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Ma'am.
Good morning, Mr. Irwin.
Good morning, ma'am.
Mr. Irwin, I have two matters for this morning. The first is 23 CR 08186. I'm waiting for my computer to open that up. There we go. It looks like you were arrested on a failure to appear, a warrant signed by me on September the 14th, 2023, on a charge of disturbing the peace. It's alleged, sir, that you failed to appear for court on August the 9th, 2023. Did you appear for court on that date?
I was on my way to court in the hallway, and I got held up, and then the court didn't happen, and I got sent back to my unit. I was in custody then.
All right. If you were in custody, I'll go ahead and dismiss the outstanding warrant for your arrest.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it. I was sleeping at a laundromat.
Okay. All right. And let's go. So that charge is it looks like a washboard located on Kitski.
Yeah, that's my post.
And so you were arrested for sleeping there, and that you were arrested on this failure to appear.
Yes, ma'am.
The other charge that you have, Mr. Irwin, is 23 CR 12890. Let me go over that with you now. And that's a trespass.
You're trespassing at the laundromat.
4004 Kitski Lane.
Yes, ma'am.
And that is, it says that you have a chronic pattern and have been previously trespassed in October. You were sleeping under a table. The owner signed the complaint for trespassing.
They usually just give me a warning and I take off, but this time they arrested me.
All right, so what is your plea to the, is there an offer to be tendered?
No
Here, it
comment.
looks like it's, okay.
Your Honor, point of clarification. It doesn't look like any of us have paperwork on the disturbing the peace. What I see that's included in that file is the arrest, the 1012 arrest, which was at the washboard location, but we don't have a charging document attached to our file or a probable cause statement that will tell us what happened with regards to that disturbing the peace.
So he's talking about his sleeping at the laundromat, and usually they just wake me up and tell me to go. I don't know why they arrested me. That's not the problem. He's focused on the wrong thing. We're going to find out later.
If possible, could we track that down before moving forward?
Yes, let's do that. Let's see if we can put Mr. Irwin at the end of the docket and see if we can find that breach of the peace document. If not, we'll have to continue until tomorrow. Mr. Irwin, if you would be so kind, on a failure to wear a safety belt, operator proof of insurance, and another failure to comply with the court order, which is a violation of the court's order. Did you ever do your 48 hours of community service?
Your Honor, I was pregnant at the time and put on bed rest, and when I tried to explain that to the judge, he converted it to a fine. I was unable to work, so I was unable to pay the fine, so he commuted it back to community service, told me no more second chances, and I was still pregnant and unable to complete.
All right, have you had your baby now, Miss Jess?
Yes, I have, Your Honor.
Okay, and are you working?
Yes, I am. I'm working at Franktown Meadows. I'm an equestrian caregiver.
How long have you been in custody, Miss Jess?
I've been here since Friday, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to convert the 48 hours of community service to time served, and we'll conclude the matter.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
So nice.
Shelly's
Good
an
morning,
awesome name. Shelly's an awesome name. That's my daughter's name.
All right, well, good pick. Mr. Myers, you have, let's see, case 18 CR 06485. So you win the prize for having the oldest case on the docket today.
Yeah.
Let's see what that is. Let me open it up.
They're still in the courtroom.
All right. So, Mr. Myers, it looks like I signed a warrant for your arrest on February the 7th, 2023 for contempt of court failure to comply. And the print's pretty small, so bear with me while I try to read it. It looks like on May the 22nd, 2018, I sentenced you to obey all laws, consume no drugs or alcohol without a prescription, and complete 26 weeks of domestic violence counseling.
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry.
I did that online because of COVID, and I have 3 different certificates. This time when they arrested me during the holidays, I emailed them to the I must have emailed them to the wrong place, and my attorney told me I shouldn't email them to the DA. I should have emailed to the court, and all I have to do is go print them out from the library and take it to the court, Your Honor. I'm so sorry. I'll do that today, like if possible, like.
Just so you know, the prosecutor gets so upset she pulls out some jazz hands soon.
For this week. I'm just down here visiting my mom for her birthday. I live in Tahoe.
Okay. All right, I'm looking to see if you had any. Writing the paperwork to the appropriate place, is that correct?
That's all I have to do, yes. I'm sorry.
All right, sir. And did you understand your constitutional rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any question about your rights, sir?
No, ma'am.
And you understand that contempt of court could draw up to 25 days in jail and a fine up to $500?
I do.
All right, sir. Did you say you served in the military, Mr. Myers?
Yes, I'm Air Force veteran, ma'am.
All right, well, that goes a long way with me always, Mr. Myers. So what I'm going to do is this.
And Your Honor, may I be heard on this one?
Yes, you may.
Thank you, Your Honor. It looks like Mr. Myers was already taken into custody on a warrant for failure to comply prior to this one. This was in December of 2022. And it looks like at that time, he told the court he just needed to get the right paperwork. Your Honor gave him until January 2nd, 2023 to provide the paperwork to the court. He didn't do so. And he also failed to stay in touch with pretrial services. It looks like they had to reach out to a different court to get his updated contact information, and he failed to report altogether. So with that, Your Honor, he's back before you months later. His case is sold with the same excuse. My position is that it's time to revoke him. He has no intent of getting this done. So I'm going to ask for revocation today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Boyers-Tanner. I'll give you the opportunity to speak, Mr. Myers. Let me hear from your lawyer.
Your Honor, I think that I don't agree with that at all. I think that in our court system, my client actually, as he explained to me, did an email to what he said was the lawyers, the defense, and not the defense counsel, but the prosecutors. And what he said was district attorney. So our system can be confusing for a person who doesn't deal with it daily. So he thought at that time that he'd done everything he needed. He sent the email off to the district attorney, thought he had done the right thing, and lo and behold, he's arrested again. So I would ask that he not be revoked and he be given that opportunity to provide the paperwork. He had problems with the computer. This was during COVID. He was having trouble uploading documents, making sure it went to the right place. What we talked about was he would print those documents out and go down to the court and present them to you. I would ask the court to give him that opportunity.
Please, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Myers, who did you do your domestic violence counseling through?
I did through Evito, online. I had 3 different things. I did domestic violence, I did anger management, and I did 3 different certificates, ma'am, online. Evito, EVEDO. So all I had to do is print them out. Like I said, like I try to email them, and I'm not that good at computer. I can go down to the library right now and print them out, and there's certificates. And I got 3 different certificates for anger management, domestic violence, and
memory loss.
Violence ones, ma'am.
All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to release you on your own recognizance. I'm going to give you 1 week to provide those documents if they're not prepared, if they're not in the Reno Municipal Court filed appropriately by next Monday, close of business. Next Monday's day is, hold on a minute, I'll tell you, the 23rd of October. I'll have you arrested and you can do your 90 days in jail, okay?
No, I'm good. I'm going to do it. Yeah, exactly. And like I said, integrity first is our service before self, and excellence is all we do is our motto in the Air Force, ma'am. So thank
Thank you very much for the chance and opportunity.
All
And one more
right,
thing.
sure,
One more thing.
release. So
I got jaywalking ticket.
Hold on a minute. I'm going to give you an email address.
Oh.
And I'm going to ask Deputy O'Connell to write it down for you. You're going to need to email it to MASI, M as in Mary, at reno.gov. And if it's not received on or before Monday at 5 p.m., the 23rd of October, I'll issue another warrant for your arrest, and you'll be revoked and do the 90 days in jail. Okay?
Yes, Your Honor. I had got a jaywalking ticket on my birthday on September 15th. I was wondering what happened with that because I don't know if I had a court date for that or anything.
Miss Massey or Miss Gonzalez, can you look up and see if Mr. Myers has a jaywalking ticket?
He does, Your Honor, and that case has been added. It was a civil infraction. It's a default infraction at this juncture.
So do I have to do anything for that? Can
I believe it's in your files right now.
All right, let me look and see. All right, so Mr. Myers, you have case 23 CI 11714, civil infraction. And that is for a pedestrian crossing, not at a crosswalk, jaywalking. What is your plea to that charge, sir?
No contest.
And you understand that by entering a plea of no contest, the court will find you guilty?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, sir. And you understood your constitutional rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any question about those rights?
No.
All right. And you are a veteran of the United States Air Force. So
Yes,
what I'm
ma'am.
going to do is sentence you to time served on the jaywalking.
Thank you so much. You're awesome, Shelly. Have a great day.
Thank you. Let's do that.
He called her Shelly.
Mr. Irwin, come on up. Thank you. Good morning again.
Morning.
The second case was, I think, 23 CO.
He's back. He was the one before that was sleeping at the laundromat. Now they get into a different problem.
128. Let's see if that's the correct one. 12890. Is that correct, Ms. Boyda-Stanner?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. It would have been the first case. So it's 23 CR 08186, disturbing the peace, and the citation was emailed to all of us.
Okay. So just give me a moment to look up the citation. Okay, my first my first document is a failure to appear. All right, I see a complaint. Violation date July 13th, 2023, charging breach of the peace. The defendant willfully and lawfully subjected the persons of 230 Dahlberg number R to noise of pounding on the door and yelling, which disturbed the peace of the people within the residence. So, do you understand the charge, Mr. Irwin?
Yes, ma'am.
And Your Honor,
is there all? Go ahead.
Thank you. We were going to the same place. The offer is this. If he pleads to disturbing the peace, I would ask for a dismissal of the trespassing with the understanding that I'm gonna ask for no contact order to protect the washboard laundry facility since he's been a frequent trespasser. And I'm also gonna ask that sentencing under disturbing the peace be continued so I have an opportunity to contact the victim.
All right, so Mr. Irwin, you've been offered a plea negotiation where the city attorney is willing to dismiss the trespass if you plead to the breach of the peace charge. Do you want to do that?
No, I didn't. I knocked on the door and asked for a girl that didn't live there anymore.
Okay.
I didn't threaten anybody or disturb the peace. So that's no deal.
All right, well, the person, so just so you know, the person inside the residence,
the door and said,
listen to me. The person inside the residence where you admit knocking on the door at 2:30 in the morning had a 3-year-old child inside. So it scared them. Okay? So you want to enter a plea of not guilty?
Yeah, I just asked for a girl that doesn't live there anymore.
All right.
I didn't know the girl who
wasn't the question.
I am going to enter a plea of not guilty for you on both charges. We'll set the matter for trial.
Thank you, ma'am.
I will appoint a legal defender. This is the type of offense for which Mr. Irwin could receive jail time. Mr. Irwin, come back.
Who's that?
Stand there and listen.
Who's that?
We're not finished with you yet.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to give you a trial date and a legal defender.
That will be November, excuse me, November 15th at 8 a.m. with Ms. Mayhew.
So your trial date is November the 15th at 8 a.m. and your lawyer is Jennifer Mayhew. I'm going to order you make contact with Ms. Mayhew prior to the trial date so the two of you can be prepared to proceed to trial. City wishes to be heard as to bail?
Not guilty.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. We've got that, Mr. Irwin. Thank you.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now we're discussing whether or not your bail.
I'm requesting in this case $1,000 bondable with a no contact order. And the basis for that is because Mr. Irwin has a number of failures to appear on his record. I'm reviewing his record with our court. It looks like we began seeing him in 2014, similar types of charges. He has picked up 6 cases in 2023, and he's failed to appear twice on those cases. I do have a pretrial assessment report, and it looks like he's been living in Washoe County all of his life, but he doesn't have a fixed address and hasn't had one for 2 years, unemployed, no means of support. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Burning.
Your Honor, in talking with my client, he let me know that he does not have a residence at this time. I had asked if he was interested in community court. It's my understanding he was kind of thinking that over. So he does not have a way to pay bail, and I would be asking for his release on his own recognizance with the condition that he stay away from the washboard and from the residence where all the, where he had allegedly knocked on the window or the door. And Your Honor, I believe that would be important given the fact that he will utterly have to remain in jail until his trial date if the court isn't willing to do that.
So, Mr. Irwin, are you living at the shelter?
No, I stay at my dad's house, 3235 Piazza Circle, Reno, Nevada.
My fault.
All right, I'm going to take a chance with you, Mr. Irwin. You've amassed quite a few charges here. Shown your own recognizance with the following conditions: that you obey all the laws, you make your court appearance. If you fail to appear for court, I'm going to not be very happy.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it, ma'am.
So you're to have no alcohol or drugs without a valid prescription, including marijuana, during the pendency of this case. Maybe you'll think more clearly about knocking on people's doors at 2:30 in the morning. That being said, you're to have no contact with the washboard laundry facility, as well as the residents of this address. And that is, do you have that address for us, Ms. Aboitis Tanner?
What's Galloway Lane?
What is it?
All right, so you're to stay away from Nita Barajas at 230 Galloway Lane. That's the alleged victim in this matter. If you go there, if you're found anywhere near that property, I'll have you arrested. Do you understand, sir?
Yes, ma'am. I appreciate it, ma'am.
All right, please don't let me down.
Do I have a release date?
Yeah, today.
You're released today.
Thank you, ma'am.
Director, you know.
On that last guy, the offer was good because he admitted to both crimes loudly and repeatedly, and she would have dismissed the first one, the sleeping in the laundromat, if he admits to the second one, which he already did. I don't know if Catherine should have like had a breakout room real quick or something to help him, but she just stayed silent the whole time. Maybe his next lawyer will be able to still get that offer from him. But that was Reno. That was my day in Reno, like 2 days ago. I showed some yesterday and then the rest of it today. I didn't get any more since then. And I worked the next 2 days. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I still have a lot of content. I got Reagan again fighting with Mechanico. And there's like a couple cases I have together. And the first case, Reagan says something pretty stupid, and he's doing his best. That's his job. He does his best. And, that's why we love him and hate him. And Mechanico slaps him down. And then for the rest of the cases, he's like muted. He's like really subdued. He'll learn his lesson. It's great. It's great. I'm going to try to get that on tomorrow if I can after I work a double. So maybe we'll see. We'll see. I don't think I have any more Reno, but I also have a really sad one tomorrow too, because I started recording this guy because he was funny. He was a character. And I don't want to say anything because I don't want to predispose you to my opinion, but I feel like it shouldn't have gone that way for him. And that's all I'll say. I'm going to try to do that tomorrow. I definitely am because it's so good. Well, to all of you who've made it to the end, congratulations. Oh, wait, I have an end thumbnail I should put up. I mean, not thumbnail. Hold on. There we go. There we go. To all of you who made it to the end, thank you so much. I'm going to try to get more. I do already have a lot more saved. I just got to get it up here. Thanks for staying up late with me. Now, go to bed. It's late. Go to bed. See you next time.